This is 55 TV, we are 55 Factory. We are at the Fred Torres Collaborations in Miami with the lovely Yana. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
How has this week been for you with everybody hitting Miami crazily?
It's great. Everyone comes into town to see what's new, what's hot, and we're showing David LaChapelle a new work of his from a series called Earth, Laughs and Flowers. And this is his contemporary spin on the traditional 17th century Dutch still life. And in it he includes all kinds of elements from our culture to talk about society today and the kind of vanitas theme to it.
We're huge fans of David LaChapelle for years. I've followed him personally. His work's amazing. It's great to see a completely different body of work that still has his independent and original style, but on such a different level. His work's always been classically based with his figures, but working in still life is something else. Where is he showing at the moment? Because we know he's all over the place and we can't get hold of him.
Well, we're going to show this series in the gallery in New York in February, and also this series will be shown in London, Milan, and St. Moritz in February as well. We're doing a collaboration with several other galleries in Europe, and so we'll release these all at once. But this series was shown at the Kessner Museum last year. And this is a brand new body of work. But David also has a show right now in Seoul, in South Korea, as well as he opens a show this coming week in Prague.
Really exciting. We've just heard that it's coming to London in February. We want to get hold of you and you guys when you come over, so please keep in touch.
Absolutely.
This is 55 Factory, we are 55 TV. This is 55 TV. Well, in Miami, we are at the Freight and Volume Gallery with Nick. Talk about this body of work and the artist that's done this.
Absolutely. Well, of course, we're here at the Pulse Miami edition number 8 out of 10. And Richard is the second or third time we've shown him in the booth here. Now, as you can see, he has a wicked sense of humor. He's well known both as a rock star of psychedelic furs fame and as well as a consummate painter. And his technique and handling is superb. As you can see, he's done amazing, delicate work, forceful work. It's a nice combination of opposites. This is his daughter, actually. It's a double portrait of his daughter in a Mickey Mouse costume. There is some sort of overtones of the dark and the underground and the sort of carnal, but also the innocent. Both portraits here, too, are of his daughter. One in shadow, one again with the Mickey Mouse costume. We find that his work is appreciated both by old school art lovers in terms of technique and prowess, as well as people with a sort of cutting edge view and connoisseurship. Richard works somewhat reclusively on his work when he's not touring, and so he's also, as a person, quite a mixture of interesting opposites.
We've worked with quite a few music artists that have actually produced bodies of work. Are you noticing more musicians are coming away from a band and having that time, like you say, on their own, isolate themselves and producing body of work? How would you feel and how are you finding this?
Absolutely. We've seen artists like Patti Smith, certainly artists that work with music in their work all the time, like Kristen Markley. We're very interested in music at Freight and Volume. This is the second or third show that we've had that's involved artists that cross over between music and art. Our next show, Eric Denbrisian, has done the lyrics for the entire re-released album Smile by the Beach Boys. And in terms of his work, it's actually painting the lyrics to Smile, and very literally, but also in a very gorgeous, breathtaking color-wise and in a way that makes music out of the paint and the pigment. With Richard, I think the two areas are quite separate in his life, but he brings them together in his consummate skill. We also have Kristen Shealy's work, who we have a large painting here and in the corners, which have quite a bit to do with music in their rave Berlin sort of style. So as you can see, there's more and more crossover. I think artists aren't bashful at all about mixing the mediums. And Eric Denbrisian's in a band as well, so he's an artist becoming a musician. Here we have a musician becoming an artist. It's also interesting to note that Richard went to art school before he embarked on his career at with the Psychedelic Furs. He returned to that, much like the Talking Heads started in art school and became a world-famous band.
Great. Thank you. We're at the Freight and Volume Gallery in Miami Beach. 5 TV. We are with LeBass at LeBass Projects in Miami at the Pulse Center. It's a great place. Our first time in Miami. It's insane here. We love this artist. We saw him on the streets yesterday. Tell me a little bit about him.
Jeff Hargadon is a Boston-based artist and actually a very interesting guy. He works in the financial industry, and in 2008, in Los Angeles, Boston, a lot of the major American cities, when the economy crashed in 2008, you started seeing these vinyl signs advertising cash for your gold, we'll fix your credit, we'll buy your house. Really sort of lecherous companies trying to take advantage of people, I think, in financial straits. And Jeff sort of struck on this idea of cash for your Warhol. He's a big collector, an artist, obviously, and sort of really understood both the street art market and the contemporary market. And I think the Cash for Your Warhol pieces really encapsulate this sort of moment of where we are in culture. Here in Miami, Art Basel is happening. Millions of dollars of work were sold last night at the opening, and you sort of see these Cash for Your Warhol as sort of an interesting sort of look into what's happening today in both contemporary art and sort of the economy.
Contemporary art and street art, they have such a power to be so honest and so of the moment. Warhol is still coming into many pieces of work. Why is this?
Warhol, I think, his sort of the idea of what Warhol created, this whole pop art movement, really is taking sort of the everyday things and turning them into art. And, I think that the simplicity of that still speaks to people. And then I think on the flip side of that, in the commercial sense, is that Warhol's work is valued at the heights that they're selling for an hour. It's just absolutely crazy.
How do you feel about the whole of the regeneration of this area as well? I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? It's just the way the art market has really thrown itself into completely transforming a derelict, downtrodden area, and I mean, it's amazing around here.
I mean, for me, any excuse to come to Miami in December, and you've got half the world's major collectors flying in to come see the fairs. It's a good time to come down to Miami.
Sure. Great to see you. This is 55 TV.